What would you want to say to someone that is contemplating suicide?
I think the biggest message, and one of the things, again, has come from this project, is, and it's an example. Got a call shortly after one of the newspapers ran an article. It was a man who was going to kill himself that weekend, but he had no idea what he was going to do to his daughters.
What he was going to do to them?
Yes. He thought they'd be better off without him. He thought he was a burden, very much like my father, I believe. But because he had the example of my family, he now knew that they wouldn't be better off without him, that he was wrong. I want them to know that we're not better off without them. That they may feel like they're a burden, but the burden that they may leave with us is far, far greater. And their importance to those around them is far greater than they can ever imagine. My dad never imagined my son. That's impact. That's what people need to know. And when people see that, through stories like this, and through the images of people and their stories of being left behind, then they realize how important they are. And that their choices and their problems, there's other solutions. And through things like what you're doing, clearly show options of what they can do. So
Thanks for sharing
that's
that.
what it is.
And do you think there's something that we can do to keep hope alive for others or for ourselves when we think that it's lost?
It's never lost. Never, ever, ever lost. I think where we've lost hope, where hope is lost is when we stop talking. Because we haven't been talking about a lot of what I've been talking about. Nothing's changed in 30 years or 28 years since my father's death. When we begin to talk about things, we change. When we look at where dialogue has to take place, and why hasn't anything changed with suicide? Why are the rates continuing to go up? Why can't we talk about it? Because we don't have tools in place. When we look at programs like Safe Talk, like when we look at how do we get, my teachers didn't know how to talk to me. They had no tools. I'm a paramedic and a firefighter. I've never been trained in suicide. So we need to put tools in place so that we have those tools to do something about it. Universities across the country and colleges with nursing programs, business programs, all this, because business people will go out and be executives and be human resources. They'll run their own businesses. What happens when suicide's happening? How do they talk about it? Even without prevention, those left behind, how do you talk to me about it if we haven't been trained or don't have the tools? You can't talk to me. If I carried the stigma of my father's suicide, what hope did he have? Very little. And that's the part that has to change. And that's where the hope comes from, is by just creating the dialogue.
What keeps you grounded, Scott?
My kids, my wife, family. Family and those close to me that everything's about relationships, about people. Those of us who have lost loved ones and friends to suicide don't have three heads. Those who think about suicide don't have three heads. They're the people we see every day. That's what it is. That's what it's about. And the world we live in now, and even then, not now and then, it's often complicated. We can get bogged down with all the advertising and feeling we have to be a certain way. No, the way we have to be is how we are. And not that it's just okay, it's incredible. And that's got to be celebrated. And the more we do that, the more we're allowed to. The more we allow others, the more we allow ourselves to be who we are.
Do you have any words to live by? Any last words to live by?
The biggest one, and it's come from this, is not talking about it isn't working. We might not have the answers, but we know that that is not working. We need to talk about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your story with the viewers of Mind Your Mind.
Thank you very much.